Hey Yogini, it's Claire. How are you? I'm jumping on here to do a little video just to go through some of the things that people can be worried about for pregnancy yoga. So yeah, there's not every yoga pose is gonna suit pregnancy. I'll just put that straight out here. There's an awful lot of kind of fears and myths around like what's good and what's not good in pregnancy, and I don't want to increase that fear. I really believe that every pregnant woman should be supported, and that yoga is a wonderful tool to help with any big life-changing event, and especially when your body is changing so much and there's can be so much going on. So that's the first thing. It's fabulous, and definitely I don't want to discourage people from doing yoga when they're pregnant, or you guys from teaching yoga for pregnant people. There is, however, certain things that you need to know, and there can be this information gap where people think, oh, pregnant, my friend was pregnant, she was fine, she was doing everything and she was fine. And then on the other side there can be this idea that, oh, pregnant, we have to be so careful, and this like kind of wrap people in cotton wool. And the truth is more complex than that. Like certain poses in yoga are not recommended for pregnancy. And I'm going to talk to you about 3 of the different kind of categories of poses that aren't recommended. So the first thing is, when I talk to people, yoga teachers, and I say, so what poses do you think could be problematic for pregnancy? Often people just, you can see the bump, and that certain things are just not going to feel very comfortable when you have a big bump in front. So the obvious things are lying on your belly. So lying on your belly, yeah, it's not going to feel very good in the second and third trimester to lie on your baby, and even in the first trimester, your baby in your first trimester, sometimes it can be unpleasant to lie on the tummy if you're nauseous, or you can still sometimes feel that kind of hardness and that something's different going on. So that does kind of cut out a lot of the things that we would do from lying on the tummy, like back bends. But the other thing is that back bends are not recommended in pregnancy anyway. So your camel pose or your upward dog pose would be poses that I'd be really erring to the side of caution with, maybe avoiding altogether. There are things we can do for extension of the spine, but we're going to stay away from definitely big back bends. And that's because there's relaxin in the body. There's a hormone that's related to progesterone that relaxes all of the body, so it makes the ligaments softer. So it means that we have more flexibility than we might normally have, and we have that, and we have a heavier body. We have more fluid in our body than we normally have, like 30 to 50% more fluid in the pregnant body. So yeah, so that does mean that we just want to avoid back bends, really big back bends. The other thing is, people, you may have heard this, twists, and it's the same idea. We want to avoid big twists. We don't want to be doing twists when we're pregnant. So lying on the tummy is a kind of a no. Back bends, kind of a no. I'm gonna say a no. Twists, a no. Some of the yoga teachers are saying more forward folds. Forward folds can be problematic just because space-wise there's not as much space to forward fold. Obviously, if you have your breasts get bigger and heavier and you have a bump out in front and you want to do a forward fold, you're just not going to have as much space to forward fold. And then there are other things as well. So no back bends, I've said that. No lying, no back bends, forward folds, tricky. And then the other thing that is not always totally intuitive, you'd not guess this, is that lying on the back is actually contraindicated for pregnancy. So for Shavasana, we don't want people lying on their back for 10 minutes or 15 minutes, because there is a huge vein that brings all the blood from the lower body back to the heart, and then pumps it around the body for the brain and for baby and for everything that we need, oxygenated blood. And if we lying on our back for a long time when we're pregnant, even a short time, and not going to happen to everyone. So like, you know, it's not guaranteed that you lie on your back and this is definitely going to happen, but it can happen, and it's regular enough to not want them to lie on the back in the yoga class, is that you get like restriction of the blood back to the heart, and dizziness, and just feeling unwell, you know, faint, low blood pressure. So so we don't do poses from lying on the back, and we don't do shavasana from lying on the back. So they're the kind of three things: no big back bends, no lying on the tummy, 3.5 things. Careful with forward folds, and then no lying on the back. And I know you might be thinking, wow, what do you do with them then if they're coming to your class? There's loads that you can do with them, and if you're interested to know more, I have a course, pregnancy yoga teacher training course, which is really where we take time to go through all of the things that you can offer for your pregnant clients, that's going to be supportive, that they're going to get the benefits out of yoga, that we can still do some, you know, physical asana, really beneficial work that's going to benefit them and benefit their asana if they continue with yoga, which a lot of them do. I found people sometimes who never do yoga come when they're pregnant and then fall in love with it and keep going, or you know, take a break when baby comes along and then come back, maybe mum and baby yoga, or you know, they come back later to work on the core and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I know it might seem like a lot, but it is important to note those things and to just be aware of them, so that you can keep people safe in the class. And as I said, there are plenty of lovely practices that you can do that can really benefit pregnant women and their babies. And you know, it's teaching yoga for two for the price of one. So yeah, I hope that this has been useful, and I'd love to see you at the training. So yeah, let me know if you're interested, any questions or comments, and you can find out more details on the website www.yogawithclaire, or give me a shout. All right, thank you so much. Namaste.